Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we crack open the financial secrets of big companies. And well, let's just say this Micron Technologies. Filing is a doozy. It is like they're trying to outdo themselves in the sheer volume of detail, and some of the numbers are pretty wild. Grab your popcorn because we're diving deep, and you might want to join our Discord community, linked in the description for more of these deep dives. So what are we looking at today? It is Micron S annual report, their 10K filing for the fiscal year ending the 28th of August 2025. Think of this as the company S yearly report card, and it is packed with everything investors and the public need to know, including how much money they made, how much they spent, and all the juicy risks they refacing. Micron is a giant in the memory and storage chip world. They make the DRAM and NAND flash memory that powers everything from your smartphone to massive data centers, and they've been around for a while making some pretty incredible tech. Let S cut to the chase the financials. The most important part of any of these filings is how the company performed financially. And Micron had a big year revenue, jumped a massive 49% compared to the previous year. That means they are bringing in a lot more money. This is largely thanks to their DRAM products, which saw a big boost. So it looks like the demand for their memory chips is really heating up. Digging a little deeper into that, DRAM sales were up a whopping 62%. What does that mean in plain English? It means they sold way more of these chips and they got paid more for them. The average price they got for each chip went up significantly, and they also shipped a lot more chips overall. This is likely driven by the huge demand from artificial intelligence or AI applications, which need a ton of memory. And where is all this money coming from? Their cloud memory business unit, or CMBU, is exploding. It brought in $13.52 billion in 2025. That is a 257% increase. This unit focuses on memory for cloud customers, especially the high performance stuff like HBM or high bandwidth memory, which is critical for AI growth. It seems like Micron is really capitalizing on the AI boom. Now let's talk about profit margins. Improved significant gross margins shot up to 40% in 2025 compared to just 22% the year before. This is fantastic news. It means for every dollar they make in sales, a bigger portion of it is actually profit. This is because they are selling more chips at better prices, and they are also managing their manufacturing costs better. Remember how I said there are always interesting numbers? Well, in 2023, Micron had to write down a massive $1.83 billion worth of inventory. This means they had to reduce the value of their stored chips because the market price had fallen below what it cost them to make them. This really hurt their profits back then. But now in 2024, they saw a benefit of $987 million because they sold some of that inventory that they had previously written down, so it is like a lingering effect from a tough period. Looking at their assets and liabilities, their balance sheet shows a healthy increase in cash and investments. They have over $11.9 billion in cash and investments, which is important for paying off debts and investing in new tech, but they also have a lot of debt, over $14 billion in long-term debt. That is a serious amount of money they owe. Their accounts payable, or what they owe to others, also went up significantly. That can be a sign of busier operations, but also something to watch. When we look at how they are spending money, investing activities show huge expenditures on property, plant, and equipment, specifically $15.86 billion in 2025. That is a massive investment in new factories and equipment. This is clearly tied to their strategy to expand production, especially with support from government incentives like the CHIPS Act. Speaking of government incentives, Micron is getting substantial funding from the US government through the CHIPS Act. These agreements are worth up to $6.4 billion for their US manufacturing projects. This is a huge deal for the company, and for the country it shows how important semiconductor manufacturing is becoming globally. But there are always strings attached these funds are tied to, achieving specific milestones, and are subject to strict compliance rules and even clawbacks if they don't deliver. Now about those risks, the ones that keep investors up at night, Micron lists a lot of them, but the big ones include the extreme volatility in the selling prices of their products, meaning what they get paid for chips can swing wildly, and this directly impacts their profits. They also highlight the intense competition from giants like Samsung and SK Hynix, who are also developing in cutting-edge tech. Then there is the constant need to innovate. Developing new memory and storage technologies is crucial and expensive. Micron's business is very global, with significant operations in Taiwan, Singapore, Japan, China, and India. This brings a whole host of geopolitical risks, currency fluctuations, and trade restrictions that can seriously impact their business and profits. China's decision to restrict their products for critical information infrastructure ATAs is a concrete example of these risks. And then there are the legal battles. They are involved in numerous patent infringement lawsuits with companies like Netlist and IMTC. These cases are complex and involve a huge portion of their product line. The outcome of these could have a significant impact on their finances and operations. The auditors PricewaterhouseCoopers highlighted the accounting for those CHIPS Act funding agreements as a critical audit matter. This means it was a particularly tricky area with a lot of management judgment involved in figuring out how and when to recognize the benefits from these government deals, plus making sure they meet all the complex rules and conditions. Looking at the income statement again for the year ended the 28th of August 2025, revenue was $37.378 billion. That is a huge number, and net income was a staggering $8.539 billion. Talk about a turnaround from a loss of $5.833 billion in 2023. This really shows how much the market conditions have shifted in their favor, largely driven by AI demand. On the cash flow statement, Micron generated $17.525 billion from operations. This is a strong indicator of their ability to generate cash from their core business, and it is up significantly from the previous year. So what is the story here? Micron has massively benefited from the AI boom. Their strategy to focus on high-performance memory, especially for data centers and AI applications, is paying off big time. Their revenue is soaring, and their profits are back in a big way. They are investing heavily in expanding their manufacturing capacity worldwide with significant government support, which is a good sign of growth. However, the risks are still very real. The chip industry is notoriously volatile, and competitive prices can crash quickly, and legal battles over patents could be costly. Their global operations expose them to geopolitical uncertainties, and the sheer scale of their debt means they need to keep performing well to manage it. The company is clearly betting big on AI, and it is working for them right now. The investments in new fabs and R&D are crucial for staying ahead, but they also need to be careful about managing their debt and navigating the complex global landscape. The recent legal challenges are a significant concern and could disrupt their progress. Overall, Micron is showing impressive financial recovery driven by strong market tailwinds and strategic investments. The future looks promising, especially with AI demand. But the inherent risks of the semiconductor industry and ongoing legal challenges mean investors should still proceed with caution. What is your take on Micron's impressive comeback and their heavy reliance on AI demand? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives and for even more exclusive content and discussions. Join our Discord community linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and we see you in the next one.